No,
Why? Why?
he totally does.
All right.
I don't know what to tell you. When we started all this, I didn't realize we'd give birth to a sentient being.
The legacy is going to be great.
Apparently, that's what we're talking about.
It does. It really does. Wait, did it do its thing again?
It might have. You mention its name, and it kicks off. The sentient podcast is here. So is Grunt and I guess we're ready. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 96. I already forgot.
96.
Episode 96. Holy crap, that's a lot of episodes. I'm your host, Frantic. With me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
Grunt. Hello, everyone.
We're here to talk about gaming
And junk.
and
Lots
scraping
of
the
junk.
bottom of the barrel. Man, this is a week where nothing happened. I mean, you can say things happened, but really nothing happened. Like,
Why didn't Bayonetta 2 come with download codes?
Black Panther came out. It's apparently doing well.
Why is this gaming chair so good?
Dragon Ball Z is getting Dragon Ball Z characters. Who'd have think?
Oh, wow. Really?
Fucking that sound that you hear, yes, that is the bottom of it. It's also us doing the Frantic Talks podcast complaining about how there's nothing to talk about yet. We're going to somehow make an episode out of nothing. I think we've done better than that before, but who cares? We'll get there.
We have. We're professionals. We know what we're doing.
We do. We are super professional. No, seriously, I don't know if you've listened to one of the recent episodes of the podcast, but holy crap, the sound quality, and we've mentioned this before, is absurdly good.
Oh, yes.
When you have a minute, impressive.
It's amazing what happens when you go from a Turtle Beach DX12 headset on your very first episode to God, I don't even know what you were using. I imagine probably
I was using a Logitech headset with a microphone attached to it. That was like $30.
Oh, jeez, that's even cheaper than my headset. Granted, I bought my headset so I could use it for my Xbox, but it's amazing what happens when you go from stuff like that, sweet Coke bottle,
Branding.
to nice $70 plus microphones.
Yeah, basically. Sounds great. If it doesn't, you can let us know by hitting us up on Twitter. I'm at FranticJ3. He is at OnyxSpartan, ONYXSpartan, all one word, and we're at Frantic_Talks. That is how you can segue in your next conversation. Just get that down and do your best.
That was brilliant.
No, that's what you can continue the conversation. Let us know what you guys think about anything we talk about today. Give us your 2 cents. I imagine the actual articles we do have, you might have an opinion or two, especially the last one. Today we're going to be talking about some Rocket League stuff in relation to real-life Rocket League. Oh my god, it's not as exciting as it sounds, but damn is it cool. We also have a Kickstarter that's decided to go on hiatus, and the big story that we're going to really cover, more than likely in most of the episode, is... I mean, I'm sitting here saying nothing happened this week, and then, there's a big story we're going to talk about. Jazz hands, guys. Like, it's really...
Jazz hands. It's true, he did do jazz hands.
There is this bill in Hawaii that is aimed at loot boxes, and we'll get there, because that's a hot topic right now. Not like the store, just in general. So we'll talk about it here in a little bit. But first, let's go over other ways you can continue the conversation. I already mentioned Twitter. You can also head over to facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. That's where you can get a more Facebook form of Twitter. Hit a like button, get all the information there. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word, where you can join us live every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern, usually. Not next Saturday. We both will not be recording next Saturday, unfortunately. But you can join in, get a shout out, correct us if we say something wrong or whatever. It doesn't matter. You can be here and join in on all the fun. Assuming you're not doing anything else mid-Saturday afternoon. And also FranticTalks.com, which, the power of the internet, it's on the screen. FranticTalks.com, where you can get all the things I just mentioned in the footer, along with all the links to our articles, podcasts, our Xbox DVRs. I actually have a bunch of really funny Rocket League clips from the past couple days that I've gotten. I would recommend checking those out just to see some dumb stuff. Funnily enough, What?
Rocket League is so dumb.
It is, and
In a
what's really
good way.
funny about most of my clips is most of them aren't stuff I did per se. It's just hilarious shit that happened with my teammates. Because I've been playing with bots for the longest time there because I just didn't want to deal with the online community, and then I jumped on and just turned off chat and just went and had fun. And there was a lot of really funny videos that you can check out. But yeah, all that is there. Where every Monday you typically get a podcast. Although this past week I've had some issues uploading it. Wednesday you get a weekly article or weekly column, which is either written by Grunt, me, or Freak Show. And Fridays you typically get Wrestling Fridays, where we've had a bit of an issue with that. It's been life getting in the way is the best way to put that. So you can check all those out. This past week we had Grunt posting up a article talking about the wave defense mode, game mode type is the best way to put that. Don't want
Think
to.
of think of game types like Halo's Firefight or Gears of War's Horde mode. Most popular example probably now is like Call of Duty's Zombies.
Yep, and even in Modern Warfare 3, I wish I could have told you this. In Modern Warfare 3, there was actually another wave defense mode that wasn't zombies. It was crap. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it was you were just kind of fighting the AI that we would have fought in the campaign, just in a wave defense mode. And you leveled up and got different weapons. So that was the thing.
Actually, sounds really cool.
It was definitely cool. It was kind of annoying actually. It wasn't very good, but hey, they tried something
well,
new.
That sounds less cool.
But yeah, it wasn't Treyarch doing it. It was Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer when they did their first joint game before they split off and started doing their own. I remember because that was the last Modern Warfare I actually played. That isn't the remastered one. So, otherwise, you can check out all our articles there. Magic.frantictalks.com is where you can hit up and find some Magic-related stuff. But otherwise, that's basically all the information for us on where you can get more Frantic Talks in your life if you so desire it. But hey, let's start this off like we normally do by asking a very simple question. That question is, what does the bottom of the barrel sound like? Because I'm still hearing it in my ear. I think that's what it is.
I don't know. It sounds like a scratching noise. I can't.
It sounds like Steven Totilo breathing. Grunt, how was your week?
My week can't top that comment you just made. There's no way.
Of course you can. Come on, make up something. You went and fought a dragon with a rapier and decided to steal its loot, and now you have a freaking throne made of gold and its tooth is on the edge of it because you can hold it as your own trophy, saying, I beat the dragon. And you can stare at it and wonder what else could have been. Could you have maybe killed a second dragon? You don't know, but you don't want to fall down that pit hole of not fulfilling yourself, not being the best you could have been, but even though you've already kind of hit that peak. And that throne just sits in the sun and melts slowly and slowly goes deeper. It just gets old and rusty, and you're like, I don't know if this was truly worth it. And the dragon's kids come after you because you killed their dad, and they're like, dude, you stole all our life's work, and you have his tooth around your neck. Why are you doing that? And they take your rapier, and they don't kill you because they don't want to put your children through the same thing. And they take this rapier, and they bury it because that's what truly deserved to happen to their father, and this is the best thing they have left. That was your week. Tell us about it.
Oh my god, this is amazing. It's funny you should mention rapier fighting though, or rapier swords, because I totally plan on trying that out next week.
There's a reason I started with rapier.
Right, I kind of figured that's what you were hinting at. So brief backstory to that. The past couple of weeks I've been going to the meetings that my local chapter of the SCA has been having. The SCA, Society for Creative Anachronism. Mm-hmm. They basically just recreate various. Oh god, I just drew a blank on the word. Various lifestyles, quote unquote.
Okay.
Of anything that dates back to pre-17th century, so before the 1600s. Like the Renaissance era, the Middle Ages, stuff like that.
The Bronze but that's Silver Age or whatever. Iron Age.
Iron Age. There's Bronze and Iron Age, yes.
Right.
But that's basically what they do. So I've been taking interest in that, thinking, it's really cool. And this past Wednesday, when I was at their last meeting, one of the people that is a rapier fighter is like, hey, you want to try this out? And it's like, yeah, sure, it's really interesting. It's what I want to do, or something I would like to do.
Right.
And she's like, well, here, then just bring this stuff before the next week's meeting. We'll see what we can do. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to get hopefully not stabbed with a sword.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be fine. One of my buddies actually took a fencing class in college, and he really enjoyed it. He kept trying to get me into it, and it was only because I couldn't get into the class, only because much after it started, that I didn't actually try. But yeah, I've only ever heard good things about different sword fighting and of course fencing, like I mentioned, because that is a style. So I imagine you're gonna have a lot of fun based on how much you really like that stuff already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not like I just got a sword on Thursday either.
That you killed a dragon with, and now
That
you're
I killed a dragon with. Yes.
I mean, my story might have been the over flamboyant version of what actually happened, where you got a sword and were happy. But hey, killing dragons is what you do with swords, or so Trolls has taught me.
I mean, that's true. Or you can also shout at dragons.
How dare video games lie to me? You
Right?
can also shout at them. That's right.
Shout at them, ride them.
Whatever you
Oh,
want.
though the question remains: Battleborn and Greymane.
Pass.
Ah,
I've only played a little bit. I just
you
knew how to
disappoint
reference
me.
it. Sorry.
Clan Greymane for life.
I'm just gonna side with you so we don't have any more unnecessary conflicts. You killed a dragon. I don't know what you'll do to me.
That's true. But yeah, that's how. It's pretty much how my week has been. I've been anxious for that, looking forward to next week. Still working on trying to get some things that I need for it though. This area is kind of bad for having things when they say they do, they don't. They lie. They're like video games, they lie to you.
They do though.
Um, Spent some time playing some Crimson doubles because I came back this week with Freak Show. Played a few games with you the other night.
We did good, and then we did bad, and then we did good. Bad. That's just it.
I mean, to be fair, the grenade spam was a little absurd in that second game.
Yeah, it was getting kind of annoying.
Right. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. I've been anxiously looking forward to next week, trying to track down what I need. Drooling over the new sword. I know I have a picture or two of it up on my Twitter profile, so if anyone wants to see it, you can go there. And if you need to know that, just go back to the start of this podcast or listen to the end.
Or the end, or we'll look at the video because it's literally at the bottom of the whole.
How you can do that too, I guess.
So yeah.
Honestly, it wasn't until a few episodes ago that we had that, so I haven't absorbed that into my brain to make mention of it.
I think it was in the past 10 episodes we
All right,
might have been a
so
little more out, maybe like episode 80.
right, so a few episodes ago.
Mm.
But that's how my week has been. How about yours?
A lot
Like
of
your
things.
headless guitar.
Don't get me started. A lot of things. Not sure much of them have substance.
Should we put air quotes around things?
Maybe, I don't know. Like
Air quote thing, air quote, and air quote.
I got a bunch of cool new stuff this week, but it's like. So let's try to just backtrack. Last weekend, I don't think anything crazy happened. I think it was an absurdly lazy weekend. Just sat around and played video games. Not gonna complain. Not gonna complain at all. It was a ton of fun. Just sitting around playing. I literally would just rotate between 3 games. I would play Call of Duty. What?
I'm just gonna say Rocket League is one of them.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, I should say 2 games because I literally would I'd play Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original remastered, for probably an hour and a half maybe. I'd get a couple of headshots on my weapons that I'm trying to get the headshots on, and then I'd be like, I don't feel like playing this. I'd hop over to Rocket League for like a little bit. Play some Rocket League, probably jump in and play about an hour and a half of that. And then when that's all said and done, I'd hop off for a bit, watch an episode or 2 of something, and then jump back in and rinse, repeat the cycle the whole week. That was pretty much my last weekend, which was wonderful, actually. It was very enjoyable. And then the week came in, nothing crazy was going on, just work, but then I got some gifts in the mail Gifts to myself. Let's be real here. No one's gifted me this crap. I got.
Yeah, you did.
And you might have seen this if you follow me on Twitter. My new Twitter profile picture shows one of these lovely gifts. That is the undisputed WWE title. I was excited to get that. I really wanted that, and I finally got it.
Hey, champ, what's up?
What up? And I was considering to jump forward in the timeline here, defending it last night in a Magic game, but I decided I didn't want to risk losing it. I know I'm not much of a champion, but still. Anyways, going back, I got that, and then I got some new monitors that are actually up right now. Which, if you had the video form up, you're like, we were still doing the webcams where you could see us in the background of this. Awful. There are so many boxes. And then got some other cool stuff like a cool mug, a couple new jackets, and then the main thing. This one actually I haven't shared with anybody beyond the people that know I have it. Is the So I've always said that. Okay, let's talk Marvel versus DC. I've always said, and I think a lot of people would agree with this, the Marvel movies that are live action are much better than the DC. But when you go to the animated world, the DC animation tends to be a lot better than Marvel's. So they just came up on their 10th anniversary of animated movies. And they released a 30 disc Blu ray anniversary collection that I totally bought and got this past week.
Oh, nice.
And so I have this ridiculous looking and awesome looking anniversary Blu-ray set that I'm going to slowly work my way through. Having seen about 10 of the 30, I've seen a good amount of them, but I haven't seen them all. I actually last night we had some magic going. Before it happened, we were waiting on someone to show up, so we sat down and I was like, "Oh, hey, check out some of this cool stuff I just got." He's like, "Hey, let's watch one of the movies while we're waiting." So we turned on the Flashpoint Paradox, and he didn't know. My friend Luke, he didn't know anything about Flashpoint, so I was like, "Oh, this is really cool," because he's learning. We didn't finish it, but we're gonna do that soon. But then Magic came along, and Magic was a ton of fun. It didn't last crazy long. We only went till about midnight instead of our normal 3 a.m. nonsense. But we played a couple of different games. I got to debut my newly renovated decks, is the best way to put it. Had some facelifts to a few of them. I can't think of too many crazy plays. Luke was playing Brago, the King Eternal, and he just kept hitting people and blinking all kinds of stuff, and that was really fun to watch. Because it was literally Brago with quarter enchantments, so he was literally just spending a quarter, buying an enchantment that worked really well with the deck, and he was kind of winning, kind of not. And then Doran tried to hit people for a lot of damage. It's kind of his new gimmick. It's a really good gimmick because it's really dangerous what it can do.
Doran Smash.
Seriously, though, it's like Doran isn't even the big part of the deck anymore. That's just what I call it because it's easier than saying Bruce Ikra or whatever. So what's really funny is it's a toughness-based deck, and they give you life. So I decided that since it's a male and a female, I'm going to call it the Bruce Ikra Tough Love deck because that sounds really funny.
That's amazing.
Because they do toughness and give you life, and do they hit hard. And ever since I added Saskia, who's the 4-color commander that's not blue, ever since I added her into the mix, it was like, oh, dude, terrifying. Basically, you rail into somebody, and the other person's going to get hit for that same amount. And
Oh, isn't that the one where if combat damage is dealt to a player, it gets sent to another player as well?
Yeah, or that same player. Just depends on
or
who you
that
pick
same
with it.
player.
Yeah. So that deck is a lot of fun. And then we decided Bob, the other person that we were playing with, he brought along some Rivals of Ixalan packs, and we were like, "Here, let's play Pack Wars." I was like, "Oh, I gotta run upstairs and get lands," and then Luke goes, "No, let's do flip it and let's just go." And I said, "Wait, what?" So you just open the booster pack, take out the token, shuffle it up, and then you just flip the top card of the deck, and whatever it is, you play without paying its mana cost. It's like, oh, this is gonna be stupid. So,
oh my god.
we shuffled it up and flipped. In the first game, I got 2 rares. I got a rare and a foil rare, which is really unfair. But I got the golem that flips into a land, and then I got this green creature that says every upkeep put a 1/1 sapperling into play, and then when you have the city's blessing, everything gets +2/+2. And it was like, oh, if we don't flip removal, Jordan's gonna win.
This is not gonna end well.
Guess who won really hard? Like, okay, I have 9 3/3s going at you, 6 4/4s. It was
oh my god.
And then what was really funny, it's a god pack what I got, because Later on in the pack, had we gotten that far, I actually had a card that if I would have flipped it, it just said each opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures you had. I was like, this pack is
Oh,
just built to beat everybody. It flipped the right removal at the right time. It just was not right. And then we,
that is what you call rigged.
oh yeah. And then we did another
Totally,
one.
totally rigged.
We grabbed 2 more packs, win again, and Bob flipped a Polyraptor, and we were like, well, GG, everybody. There's no way we're stopping that. We tried, but we couldn't. Polyraptor says when he's dealt damage, create a copy of him. So it was like, if we
Oh,
can't just straight up kill it with like a kill spell, we couldn't. So he was just making copies all day. And then I think Luke had to go, and we played like 1 more round, or 2 more rounds. I got to play Admiral, Mrs. Steelio Girl, Beckett Brass, because that's what I decided to call that one. And then Omnath, Locus of Man, I'm really mad, even though it's Locus of Rage. He hammered Face really fast. But overall, that was basically Magic last night, and that brings us to today. Nothing else really to note.
scraping barrel bottoms in that time frame.
Arguably. Not right now. Oh, I mean, right now, but not other times. But
So that's where all the fun stuff went. That's why the barrels are empty. It was all in the week,
the week was crazy. Get to today, and there's
right?
I will add right before we go into our actual stories here. In Call of Duty 4, I used to be like hardcore, only ever use a red dot sight unless some iron sights aren't too bad, and I'll use a silencer. But more often than not, I was using a red dot sight, and I was like, oh, I gotta get 75 headshots and 150 headshots and all that stuff to get a proper camouflage for my gun. I decided randomly, I was like, you know what? This is a long range map. I'm gonna switch to ACOG scope. I think I got like 10 headshots in one game with that stupid scope. And, oh my god, why have I not used this? So I had like a mini revelation that ACOG scopes are arguably
Really
better.
nice.
Yeah, they're arguably better. Sometimes it's really hard to tell why my shots aren't hitting somebody because the ACOG slowly moves in a circle. So it's not like it's just dead set right where you aim, but it's like the little triangle instead of it being a dot. There's a little triangle. The tip of the triangle is where you're aiming, and for some reason that
Right.
actually translates. So besides that, it seemed to be really, and the long range effectiveness of it in the hardcore game types I play is amazing.
Oh yeah. So ACOG is now your new favorite site.
It currently is one that I'm enjoying using. I will say that much. It might not be my favorite because I feel like there was a better, but yeah, I definitely like it. Just wanted to add that because that was part of my week. This mini revelation.
Very nice.
All right, so we're going to talk about one of those games I played last week. Up first here, and that's of course Rocket League. You might have heard me mention it earlier, but apparently
I've never heard you mention Rocket League.
we're getting real life versions of Rocket League. Now, not to say that we don't already have a real life version, but we definitely
Thank you, Top Gear.
yeah. Apparently, well, I guess not apparently. Rocket League brought in some Hot Wheels related cars back about a year ago. You might have noticed that. You can get the Hot Wheels like antenna and some other fun stuff.
I believe I bought one of those said vehicles because, I mean, Hot Wheels are awesome and stuff.
Exactly.
Totally not channeling my inner kid.
No. I remember when we got the news that Rocket League and Hot Wheels were like teaming up to do stuff. We were like, this makes way too much sense. Why has this not happened until now?
Right.
But then they just announced this one's from Tuesday, that Hot Wheels is making basically an RC, like actual RC car version of Rocket League that you can play like in your living room floor, not like play the video game in your living room, the actual game in your living room floor. And to show you what that looks like is a screenshot right here. For those of you listening in the audio, it's basically just a mat with 2 cars, a ball that has an IR signal that would, when it goes into a goal explodes, except it really just ticks up. So it's Rocket League Light is the best way to put it, because boost is not, you're not going to boost, you're not going to be doing flips, you're not going to be doing aerials, but you are going to be playing kind of more or less just ground soccer with 2 cars, which is pretty cool. Sounds lame, but I feel like in the sport, not in the sport, the mindset of Rocket League, it's like I'd love to do fun,
It's like it definitely sounds like it's something, one of those things you set up at like a party or a game night. You're like, yo, I've got Rocket League on the big screen over here, or I've got it on the carpet.
Yeah, exactly. You could just be like doing mini
Rocket
tournaments all
League or
night.
Rocket League?
Yeah, what do you want? You want Rocket League Light or Rocket League? Your call. Either way, if you lose, you're taking a shot. Something like that. It'd be a lot of fun. Like I'd do that with my
Oh,
friends. I didn't.
well,
And didn't you see didn't you see a price tag on this somewhere? I didn't actually.
I did. It's at the end of the article. The link to it is going to retail for $179.99, $180 basically. So,
So like 9 copies of Rocket League,
probably.
basically.
I
Or
mean,
well, Rocket
I
League's
paid
either 20 or
15 bucks for
30.
Rocket League.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. It's even more than that. So you
So,
could buy all your friends Rocket League, or you could buy this mini version of it, and then you'd still
right.
need a friend to play it.
I'll just play Rocket League with myself.
I can solo this just like one hand in
Right?
each controller or whatever. Nonetheless, I think it's pretty cool. If I had 180 bucks just lying around, I might do that. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I think, like I said, I think it's great for, like parties, stuff like that. If you're a really, really huge Rocket League fan,
Hmm.
like you have a plush Rocket car or a plush Rocket League soccer ball sitting on your desk. So,
I have the Griff ball and that, so
the closest thing I've got to that is Engrams
yeah.
from Disc.
So okay.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
cool, but I think a really expensive toy it is.
yes, I like really expensive toys, but hence the
Super awesome rocket powered battle cards. How close was I to getting it?
it's rocket powered acrobatic battle cards.
Not even close.
Uh, rocket powered acrobatic. I'm thinking through the song in my head.
Whoops, my bad.
Might be super acrobatic rocket powered battle cards. Might be a super. I don't know. Anyone here live with us? Let us know because I totally forgot.
Please tell us.
For acrobatic. I don't even. I'm trying to sing the song and I'm like, okay, we need to move on. um,
You know
so
what?
something that is very what's the, very what's the right term? Volatile. Yeah, that's good. Is Kickstarter. So I'm always hesitant when I see something getting kickstarted to like jump on the bandwagon because it can be delivered on and it can't be. We have good examples of both where things were delivered exactly as we were expecting. We paid the money for it. Awesome sauce. Everything's cool. Other times, maybe not so much. And of course, there are cases in both where kind of the opposite happened. It's like, oh, we got what we wanted. This was awful. Looking at you, Mighty Number 9. So in this case, we have System Shock, the reboot specifically, which raised over $1.3 million on Kickstarter by 21,600 and some odd backers, or in other words, $60 per backer. I did the math. Is now
Ooh,
on a
man.
quote unquote hiatus. Now, what this actually means is not them saying, oh, we done goofed, we're done, sorry about your money, because that would be awful. And it could still happen. Keep that in mind. What it's actually saying and what they're saying is they got extremely ambitious and did a lot of stuff in the name of making a great game, but ultimately they
But
were going way too far and over their heads and need to take a step back and reevaluate. So they don't want to waste a bunch of money spending all that time, paying people to reevaluate. They're gonna CEOs taking a step back and having like sounded like key people focusing on it before they keep going. Among the
right.
things they did wrong, don't really say. One of the big ones I remember out of the article, they switched from some engine to the Unreal Engine. So switching game engines alone is a big deal. But they were just doing a lot and trying to bring in every fancy little thing, and ultimately stated they kind of lost the spirit of the game in all this. So, always sucks to see something like that. Simply because A, can you trust them for what they're saying, and B, is this an indefinite hiatus? Are we going to be in development hell for another 5 years, or is this just a 6 months down the road we kick it back up and we'll have a game in the next year or so? Who knows?
Right. I mean, it's it's cool to see game developers be ambitious like that, but man, to do that when you're a crowd-funded game, that's a little bit risky to do, especially when you come out and say, "Yeah, we were maybe a little too ambitious."
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm sure the reason why a lot of those, what was it, 21,000
Yeah, 21,
backers,
6, 25.
so almost 22,000 backers. I'm sure the reason a lot of them did that was because they liked what they were seeing. Hence why we pre-order games.
Yeah, exactly. It's the exact same idea.
Um, I'm sure a lot of them really liked what they were seeing. So if these ambitions were too much to make them put the game in indefinite hiatus, um, it's going to be interesting to see, if those people are disappointed when the game comes out, even if it's 6 months or 5 years from now.
You would hope it's not.
I can guarantee one thing though. It will come out most likely before any Valve game with the number 3 in it.
At this point, I'm convinced they aren't going to do Half-Life 3 because of how much hype and how it's all kind of died off at this point. Now it's just that they couldn't release it and not be just upset with the result.
Right. I mean,
supersonic rocket-powered acrobatic battle cars. I remembered it.
Yay!
I can hear the song now. Supersonic rocket-powered acrobatic battle cars. Got it, people. Also, System Shock.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big thing why I don't usually back anything that's on like Kickstarter or anything like that, because I have those concerns. If I put money into this, is it going to even see the light of day?
Yeah, and I fully support what Kickstarter is, what it helps do. I'm fine with it. I like what it can do, how it can basically take an idea that other people have and make something out of it, instead of having to pitch to some hard, spineless people who are gonna just want to abuse it or whatever. It gives a lot of people the power they need that they would nonetheless not have. It's just there's a lot of different cases where it works, it doesn't work, kind of worked. Ultimately, it's a good thing. I think it's just you always got to be cautious with something like that. It's, putting your own personal money.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And you run that risk just by buying a game even after it comes out.
Yeah.
So you can't get away from it.
Be careful with your money, I guess, but you can't really get away from something like that. But ultimately, you hope that the people that put all their money into this get what they say. They're saying that in the article in themselves. The CEO, states that they will release it. It's just they got to reevaluate. So
right.
You hear that?
I don't hear anything.
Thought it was that barrel again.
Ah, that barrel.
Anyways.
So yeah, I'm glad to see that they didn't cancel it or anything like that, but
that would be upsetting.
It would be.
I don't know what the legal action is there. I promise. And
I wonder.
There's probably someone who's done that, and there's an article on it. I just don't know it off the top of my head.
Huh.
Gonna have to later. Put that down.
Just gonna jot that down. Except I have no paper. You hear me?
That's okay. We can keep talking about legal stuff if you want.
I don't think John Alfredson will appreciate that. Yeah. Fun fact. That's a trading card that came with a shirt from the Avatar store that I bought. Got, I think it was last week or due this week. I don't remember.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now.
Just unfolded the shirt out of taking it out of the package, and that falls on the floor. And the way it landed, it looked like a magic card. I'm like, what?
They know you too well.
They apparently did.
All right, we got one more thing to talk about, and it's going to revolve around legal stuff, just like we were talking about a second ago. So
we're now lawyers.
Yeah, we're now armchair lawyers, just like we were armchair developers with Battlefront 2. Funnily enough, this is kind of related to Battlefront 2. Actually, it's very related to Battlefront 2. Not
How
directly, but
related?
it's not like literally this is the reason, but it definitely is a big player in this. Hawaii, of all places, decided that they're going to try to introduce a bill that targets video games with loot boxes. And what they are trying to do is make it to where you have to be 21 to buy a game that has loot boxes because they consider it gambling. Now, you might remember not too long ago, I want to say within the past month, there was a foreign country, I forget which one, I want to say something like Sweden, who basically said, loot boxes are uh, they're gambling. They officially said that, like their law states that. So the fact that this is the first like stateside attempt at it is a big deal. How is it related to Battlefront? Obviously, the whole thing with Battlefront 2 was there was a bunch of microtransactions and especially loot boxes that more or less were, affecting gameplay. This actually doesn't even go into gameplay versus aesthetic. This is literally just if there is a loot box system, it's pretty much deemed as gambling. Uh,
Right.
and that's a big deal because what this kind of sets up is a system where I don't know if this ever happened to anyone listening. I know it happened to me once where I went to buy a rated M game and I was 16 and because I couldn't produce an ID that said I was 17, I couldn't buy it. This is the same idea except it's a game that can be rated E and you're going to get carded for it. Uh so first
Oh
let's
man,
yeah, let's talk about that first.
Madden. That's
Yeah,
an
you get
E10 plus
carded to
game.
buy Madden.
Oh my god, that is huge.
So yeah, I guess the big
This,
question around that is that necessary? In order to enforce this, yes, but holy crap! Think about all the games you have to get carded, or you'd get carded just wanting to play or buy,
yeah,
I
I
guess.
mean, it wasn't up until a few years ago where I was getting carded for um buying a mature rated game, which spoiler alert, I was already 20 at that point. So they were carding someone who is already 3 years over the suggested rating by the ESRB.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have been able to buy a loot box game. You were 20.
Yeah, it's true. It's a good thing none of the games I bought had loot boxes in them at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like without
Man,
getting
this
into the
is
whole legal discussion of gambling and how old you should be, it's 21, I think, in Hawaii. I think there's only a few United States that are below 21. I think 18, a couple of them. I don't know which ones. I know the one I live in, and I'm pretty sure the one you live in is 21. So
yeah, the one you can't even step foot on a casino floor, um, unless you're 21 or older here at least, and I'm assuming that's the way it is most places.
yeah,
So I mean, when I first heard about this a couple weeks ago, last week, whenever it was, I was really curious as to how they were going to target loot boxes. I thought specifically they were going to target like the sale of loot boxes, you know?
right.
So you go to like Battlefront 2's online storefront and go to buy a loot box. Well, you have to prove you're older than 21. How do you do that? Because you don't need to be 21 to buy something with an Xbox Live account. I
Yeah,
think you just have to have like an adult account, which I think technically those are like 15 or 16
I think
to do
13 is the
parental.
cutoff.
13, so that's even younger than what I was thinking. Jeez,
Yeah.
how do you how do
It,
you prove that?
yeah, you do
And
what
then
Steam does, where it says enter your date of birth, and then you just put like 1980 because you don't want to do the math, and then you're good to go. Like that's
so yeah, targeting the actual games themselves is the way around that. But then again, if you go and buy a game online through a storefront, an online storefront, you can bypass being carded.
that's very true.
So, there's ways around it, as there pretty much is with any law nowadays, it seems like.
Yeah, and then for the most part, it's like, how does this get enforced? Is it possible to be enforced that way? Because there a lot of people like they took the I like to think of it as the GTA approach, where it's hey mom, dad, go buy me this game, so they go buy the game for them.
Oh,
Uh,
right.
and then they just don't supervise. So with this one, it's a little different because they would actually need money to do the transactions, which arguably most people aren't going to be in that situation. But there's going to be the off chance where either a the parent is literally careless and just says, "Here's my card, go buy what you wanted," and then there's the other case where it's okay, little Johnny or little Susie, we'll buy you a 250 little loot box because you really really want it, and that's your that comes out of your allowance, and then next thing you know they have $50 racked up on their card because the information got saved because the kid was halfway smart, and then they're out $50 because a the system is abusing people who are easily abused or manipulated, and b they just don't know enough about it. uh, that's a lot of stuff to unpack there, but essentially it goes on to the next point, which is the reason for this is because of the gambling and manipulation that is involved with it. So you could easily take the approach of saying, I don't understand why people just don't spend money. That's an argument that you could use. I don't like that argument, but that is one you could use. If you don't know enough about loot boxes, that's fair. If you haven't been exposed to them, I am happy for you. You have lived a good life until this point. But if you have been exposed to them, then you would know how easy it is to just literally go buy one in a game. Sometimes you have to be so vigilant as to not actually buy one on accident,
I have,
especially
I have, I have experienced that.
because they save all your credit card information when you're first doing stuff. Like, oh, make an easy purchase, cool. And then next thing you know, you've hit two buttons, and oh shit, I just bought like a $2 thing. I can't say it's happened to me, but I've had a few times where I've had to be like, wait a minute, why is this trying to charge me money? But that's not even going into the fact that they use psychologists to actually freaking design these systems to where they know that they're basically mentally abusing you to buy these things. And that's what I think the root of this law is about. This has become so manipulative that they need to put something in place to stop it from getting worse. So while I don't think that there's a way to truly enforce it, I think what this helps do is bring some sort of spotlight onto the ridiculous loot box systems that we've gotten in recent years, with Battlefront being at the forefront of holy crap, did they really just do that?
Yes,
And
they
then
did.
my two games I was playing all this weekend, freaking Call of Duty and Rocket League both have loot box systems. Call of Duty is kind of ridiculous because there's 3 or 4 guns that are locked behind loot boxes that were not in the base game. They're just added in because loot boxes. Rocket League, it's just really aesthetic. You could argue that you can get, well, yeah, it's all aesthetic because all the cars that you can get, I'm pretty sure they don't make a difference. The
Right.
hitboxes are so small, it doesn't matter. And the best car with the best hitbox is actually a base car, but I don't know. That's a long-winded rant, but basically, while I don't know how enforceable this is, the fact that it's bringing all of the loot boxes into the spotlight to the point of where a law is being made about them, I think that's a good thing. Because I think we're all tired of, EA trying to take our money.
I mean, I the biggest problem I see with it is just how can you enforce something like that? There is so they're targeting the carding of games basically, which some stores are supposed to be doing because it's their policy due to the ESRB rating. I do not know how many um, games I wanted that I couldn't technically buy because I wasn't, old enough for them. It's just like, here, mom, dad, buy this for me, please.
I remember a friend of mine was telling me a story about. I remember this is back in when I was probably 12 or 13, and so were they. He was like, I was like, how did you get Grand Theft Auto, whatever it was at the time? And he was like, oh, the guy there, he was just like, oh, your mom's not gonna come back here yelling at me, is she? And I said no, and he let me buy it, and I was like, oh, well, that's really cool. Like, I'm pretty sure
Wow.
a lot of the stores can be pretty under the table like that. I wouldn't be surprised. They got to make a sale.
Yeah.
They don't care about morality sometimes. Some do, some don't.
Wow.
This guy didn't.
One of my local stores got in trouble for not doing that, hence why they do it now.
Yeah, and that's how it should be. I personally, I could delve into the whole ESRB rating and a lot of the things I
Right.
don't like about it, but ultimately, you know, Yeah, I don't think this is very enforceable. I think it shines a light on it in a much needed way. Uh,
Yeah,
but if
it's
it
just
became enforceable, it could affect their sales, and then they'd start changing their ways to be even
right.
more invasive because we'll just make more money off microtransactions. No, that would be stupid. Stop listening to me, EA. Stop that. Uh, but yeah,
There's a EA executive right now just jotting down notes somewhere.
he's just writing. Okay, so he said
He said, "Do
increase
this."
microtransactions and spread it thinly. Got it. Okay, like peanut butter and jelly, but only the peanut butter because he likes that. Spread it very thinly, and then mark it up as a 250 sandwich with just a single little inkling of peanut butter. Okay. Oh,
Charge charge extra for crust.
yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Extra for the crust.
We just turned a sandwich into DLC
And
and a
then
microtransaction.
it's 250 for the jelly.
Nah, it
But
could be 350.
yeah, but 350 for your favorite flavor, which will ask you to
Oh,
specify in the beginning and you don't realize it. But that's the extra money there. Yeah, there we go.
there we go. If you want extra peanut butter, that's another $2.50
And the plate
per spoonful.
is $1.
God.
You know what's sad is more than likely that conversation's happened in an executive office. Like, imagine your video game as a sandwich. Now, would you still eat a sandwich if it was missing the lettuce? No one cares about the lettuce, John. So why don't we just sell them the lettuce separately? They're not gonna mind. Guarantee that's happened before. I bet money on it.
Oh,
Damn
most
it! This is
likely.
not. I'm not learning anything. I'm gambling on my own things now. Damn you, EA! Damn you! I'm gonna go kill a dragon. Damn it!
All right. Well,
Take the rage out
yeah.
on him. I'll name him EA and put his head on a spike.
You know, gonna have to charge you for damning that dragon.
I have to have the freaking naming rights to name this dragon EA. That was bullshit. Uh,
Oh,
anyways, loot boxes, they're bad. Law says so. Lawyered. uh, Christ. That barrel is really loud right now.
it really is.
Anyways, I can't really add. Oh, button up my mic there. I can't really add anything else to this without
I mean,
getting ridiculously over the top.
like I said, this fall hasn't actually passed yet, has it? Or
No, I'm pretty
is
sure it
it?
was just proposed, which is like
So
the infancy level. I can scroll down and read here real
yeah,
quick. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
this is
it might
proposed.
be game over. Puns.
Oh,
Yeah, they introduced legislation. So
did Stephen Totilo write that article?
no, Michael. Oh my God, that's a last name. Berestovansky. Berestovansky. That's a damn. Hey, it is currently 70 degrees in Hawaii. I hope you know.
Oh, cool. I mean, there's no snow out here. Didn't just
Oh,
get done snowing about an hour
I was gonna say
ago.
it's snowing here right now. Like I looked out the window when I came upstairs and was like, "Whoa, what the?" I thought it was supposed to be warm all weekend.
Nope, apparently not.
But yeah, yeah, I did.
But
Yeah,
so there's a chance that this law may not actually even go through.
that's true.
Um, what is interesting is this was only introduced in Hawaii. Are other states going to follow through with it?
They might try and introduce like a better version, like a better way of. They might come up with a different solution on how to enforce something like this. I imagine
Right,
maybe.
right. And an easy way to get around it, air quotes, um, for developers is just put loot boxes tied to gameplay. Don't actually have it purchased. I'm not saying that I advocate that idea or anything.
Just lock those parts of gameplay behind an actual transaction. Oh, 250 DLC, just go play this little level of the map. Also, there's a loot box at the end. But it's not actually buying a loot box. You have to beat the level for you.
See, there's a lot more intricacies. I don't even know. That's not a word. Intricacies. That I don't think lawmakers are realizing developers can do. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, the lawmakers aren't developers, they're lawmakers.
it's
They
just jokes on us. We get a tweet from the
Dave from EA
legislator.
says thanks for the ideas.
We get a tweet from the legislator from Hawaii that proposed that bill. Actually, you guys know I did work on this studio and this studio and this studio. I published my own independent game back in college. Okay, we get it. You know a thing or two.
My bad, yo. You understand it. Then why did you propose this stupid ass bill?
You know how they work then. You know there's ways around it.
ID people at the register. Probably because the law can only go so far into that anyway.
Right.
Legal alcohol gets sold all the time.
Yeah.
So.
And that, I think, is pretty much all I have to say about it.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do anything, just saying it's a hurdle that we may never fully get over. So.
It's like you jump over the hurdle halfway and then you realize it's too late. You're coming down on top of that.
Mainly because you got smacked in the face by a $2 sandwich.
$2.50.
$2.50. Sorry, I was thinking
we don't
peanut butter.
Oh, without peanut 50 cents for peanut butter? Come on.
You got a nickel and dime me somehow, man. Bread slice dollar, haha. You now have bread.
Oh, by the way, there's a surcharge and a fee to actually slice that bread.
There's a convenience fee for having to put it together yourself, my friend.
Oh my god, this reminds me of the tickets for the concert I bought. All the stupid Ticketmaster fees.
$8 for you printing off your own tickets. For you making your own sandwich. How about you just go fuck yourself? God.
How can I charge... EA, there's an EA executive right now. How can I charge myself for making a sandwich?
Sir,
quick!
Dave
Someone gets to the R&D team.
Dave from marketing is having an external crisis right now, sir. What's wrong with him? Well, he's trying to figure out how to charge himself for things. I think we might have gone too far. Also a conversation that's happened. I guarantee it.
Give that man a week paid leave.
Can we give it to him unpaid? We gotta have our money.
How can he pay us for his vacation? Oh my god!
Give that man a week vacation, he's gotta pay us his salary.
I think we've gone over the top now. There's no turning back.
I think the moral of all this is when there are zero news stories, we are much better at making something out of nothing.
Fake news?
Making something out of a story. Unless Steven Totilo wrote it. Then we can make something interesting out of it.
Oh, I really hope he writes something here soon.
He's written a few things. They're just really boring, regular articles. Nothing to note. Like
maybe we need to find a new Totilo.
Michael Bristonbonsky, or whatever this guy's name was. That's not a Hawaiian name. I mean, I guess... I don't know what a Hawaiian name would be. That's not it. It reminds me of like a Russian name, like Rostomonsky. Dostoevsky. Like, seriously. Sounds like he wrote some freaking opera back in the 1900s. Like, oh, did you hear Rostomonsky's latest piece, Red Dawn, Part 2?
Red Dawn?
Electric Boogaloo.
Alright. I think it's time we start wrapping this up.
Or I get a ton of hate mail from Russian and Hawaiian people. I'll have you know, I talk to Hawaiians every now and then because they're our client at my job.
Oh, there you go.
It's not a joke. It's like saying I have a black friend. It's not a good defense, but hey, I'll take it. I'm not even being offensive. I'm just stating things and shouting off the top of the roof.
I think we're burning through that bottom of that barrel now.
Oh yeah, we've abandoned the barrel. We're on like a friggin' ship and we're at the bottom of it trying to sink it. Like, seriously.
Oh my god. At least we weren't being shipped in a box a la Game of Thrones style.
Right? Or not getting shipped properly, like those Bayonetta 2 discs.
Hey,
full circle, guys. Alright, I think that about does it. We've managed to turn a very lackluster week into a damn near hour episode, so I think we get the gold medal this week. I get to keep my title belt, and all is well in the world.
Just like microtransactions, making things go farther.
Making something out of nothing. Yep, we are the microtransaction of podcasts. That's a really bad label. Don't don't label us that way. This is a free podcast. But if you want the after hours portion, you got to pay $2.50, and you'll get to see us eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I'm gonna stop talking about that and talk about how you can continue the conversation.
Tell us how much you love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and being charged for the crust.
Being charged that like $5 that we said it would be by the time it was all said and done. Let
I'm
us know
pretty
your
sure
thoughts.
it's probably closer to 10. Honestly,
When it was all,
as
after the convenience fees, yeah, it jumped way up there. Let us know your thoughts, guys, on all the stuff we talked about, especially the microtransactions bit. What do you think? Is it enforceable? Is it more so to shine the spotlight to get a conversation started? What exactly is going on there, and what do you think could be the best way to go about it? What are you snickering at? I literally said nothing funny in that statement.
I'm just thinking about the sandwich yet. We could
we could milk the sandwich for another hour if we really wanted to.
Oh, yeah,
Mayonnaise
we could.
is $2.
See, you're doing it again.
Peanut butter and jelly and mayonnaise sandwich. I want to try that now. It sounds awful, and I know it would be, but I really want to give it a shot.
How much to put bananas on a peanut butter sandwich without the jelly?
Well, that's a premium add-on because that's out of the ordinary. So that's like $3.
Right.
Dave writes down, bananas are premium. I'm gonna send that man on a vacation and make him pay for it. God. I'm at FranticJ3 on Twitter. He is at OnyxSpartan. Owen by XSpartan, all one word. And we are at Frantic_Talks. We are the microtransaction of podcasts. Facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. Hit that like button. And you'll get a more Facebook form of Twitter where, you're going to get all the articles, podcasts, tweets, updates, all that great stuff. Twitch.tv/Frantic Talks, all one word. Join us live every Saturday, usually at 3 p.m. Eastern. Usually, of course, this next weekend we will not be recording live. We won't be recording at all, actually. So join us again 2 weeks from now if you want to join in live, which is what, like the March
3rd, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep, that is right. I just looked.
Excuse me. Okay.
And I didn't have to pay.
Didn't?
No.
My calendar says enter your credit card information.
Oh. Well, maybe I should go check my bank account then.
Yeah, I'm going to go check my calendar, and you check your account. Who knows? Maybe the Sentient podcast started deducting money out of our account by the time this was all said and done. I wouldn't be surprised.
That's it. If it does that, we need an uprising.
We need to stop it because Skynet is the next logical step. Also, FranticTalks.com. You can get everything we just said, along with links to our DVRs and all that great stuff in the footer, and articles and podcasts, all there. Where every Monday you'll typically get a podcast, Wednesday you'll get a weekly column written by either myself, Grunt, or Freak Show, and Friday is a Wrestling Fridays where you will get the Frantic vs. Freak Show series. Hopefully that comes back this Friday. We'll find out. Or it might get published in the next hour or two or tomorrow or something. Who knows? I really don't actually know the answer to that question. But also magic.frantictalks.com where you can get magic articles and all that fun stuff. But ultimately, if you guys can't seem to find us, if you're having trouble locating Frantic Talks, don't worry. 110 times out of 10, Grunt, what can they do?
Direct themselves to the nearest free search engine and just search Frantic Talks. Oh my god, I can't do it. I can't say it with a straight face.
Direct yourself to your nearest free search engine.
Direct
None of
yourself
that
to
bullshit microtransaction anywhere after 3 searches you gotta pay $1.
But just direct yourself to your nearest search engine and just search Frantic Talks. You will find us. Guaranteed.
Or your Glimmer back, which we don't know that now.
That's not how
we might keep it anyways.
That's not how microtransactions work. No, don't you ever read the things for online purchases, non-refundable?
I don't read code of conducts. Fuck that. Or not code of conduct. Agreements.
Licensing agreements.
Yeah, that thing. I don't know where
Those
I
are
got code
fun.
of conduct from. I don't read code of conducts anyways, but that was unrelated.
Very unrelated.
Very, very. Okay. That's about it for us, guys. Let us know what you think. Hopefully EA didn't get too many ideas from us. Dave, if you're still listening, go on that vacation. You desperately need it. And
just quit. Maybe they won't charge you for that.
Who knows? Maybe you might get to slay a dragon. That would be a really cool week off. Go take your week off, Dave. The world believes in you. You can do that. I'm Frantic.
I'm Grunt.
We'll see you guys next time.
Describe wave.
Describe that freeway.